just to go back to Oblique though, I mean, it's interesting because like him winning the championship makes sense. Like again, hindsight is 2020. But at the same time, I don't feel like it was like it was a decisive victory, but it doesn't make me necessarily feel like this is his time now, like going forward. It's sort of like,
Hmm.
okay, you got this one. And if he doesn't take a step forward, like a true step forward, then like from this form to the next, like I can still see, somebody coming and getting you in the future. I think that's kind of like the general feeling. Again, maybe the clock is part of that narrative, so maybe I'm somewhat contradicting, but I'm contradicting myself. But
Nah, I agree. I think even though Oblique won, I think there's two parts where this was a long time coming for Oblique, where all right, he got the win. It was very decisive. He it wasn't a massive gap, but like he ran 9-7, the other guys ran 9-8. So it was a sizable enough win where it's like, all right, he convincingly won. But the other guys are still close enough and are it's still kind of like up in the air of like, okay, Kashane could come back and win, a gold medal at some point. Because let's not forget, Oblique, this is what the fourth time that Oblique has been in the final. And there was a point where if Oblique didn't get a medal here, people would have said, all right, you're the next Asafa Pal or whatever, right? You just can't do it. Kashane, he has gotten two silver medals, but that's not even as many times as Oblique has been in finals. So he can come back in 2027, 2028 and win a gold medal, and it wouldn't be a surprise. Noah Lyles, he's still in the conversation as someone like I don't know. He was injured this for the better part of
yeah,
this entire year and was playing catch up for the most part. This of course happened to be the best race of his year, so I don't see a reason to say that he's slowing down. Kenny B, similar situation where not he wasn't injured, but he's still in the conversation. So I think this was a moment for Oblique to assert himself as like, okay, I deserve to remain in the conversation as one of the great 100-meter sprinters of this generation, but I still need to make sure I'm pushing myself to be better because all these guys can show up and can step up, right? That's what I think he needs to make sure he's maintaining.
so
Because just my last note on Oblique, I can imagine a world, even though I still do see things very close, I can imagine a world where he goes on to continue to win gold medals. Now, again, it's very close. I'm not saying 100% he's going to be, defending his title or anything like that. But this may be have been the thing for Oblique to break that barrier and say, okay, I now have the confidence to be the top guy. I now see what it's like or what it takes to be on top of the podium. This may have been that moment for him to now continue to win gold or just remain on the podium, whatever it may be. This may have been it. But I can see a world, like I said, with Kashane Thompson. He can step things back up. He can figure out because, unfortunately, of course, I picked Kashane for gold, but the same thing that unfortunately happens throughout the year in certain races, it unfolded in the final. His second half of the race, he was tying up, he folded, and like he just wasn't able to execute. He felt that pressure, and he wasn't able to execute. Kenny B, I could also imagine him stepping things up in the next couple years because actually with I think it was Kashane and Kenny in the semifinals, they both ran like 9-8 something. I think Kenny ran faster in
yeah,
the semis than his final. So I don't know if I'm not sure I
well,
believe that Kenny is like a 9.75 or 9.76 guy, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets to a point where it's like, all right, I made two consecutive finals at the Olympics and now the world champs. Maybe now I can step things up and get onto the podium, maybe challenge these guys.
I hear you. But when I go back to the stat where, remember, when Bolt leaves the game,
Hmm.
nobody, not one person who's not named Noah Lyles has won multiple gold medals. Now, notice what I said. I didn't say multiple gold in the 100. I said multiple gold medals, period.
Yeah.
No one has done it. So if Oblique were to go win another one, he'd be the first. And so now you have to start asking, what does it take to win multiple golds? Oblique has the talent. We know this. But when we talk about multiple golds, because now we're leaving Noah in them, like we're now thinking like historic history of the last 20 to 30 years.
Hmm.
You have to have a different level of talent. When I say different, you have to have what I call a skill gap. Now in basketball it means something different. But for my purposes, the skill gap is the thing that allowed Noah to get bronze while doing it wrong. If that makes sense. He didn't run a good race in that middle portion. He just didn't. Still gets bronze because his skill gap allows him that space. Everybody else had to perform. They had to perform. He didn't have to perform to still end up there, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
the skill gap athletes are the ones who win multiple. Carl Lewis, skill gap. You see what I'm saying? Like Maurice Green, skill gap. Noah Lyles, skill gap. And even Justin Gatlin, still, there was a skill gap. Usain Bolt goes without saying. So as a result, does Oblique have a skill gap? If that skill gap just showed up, if Lazon was the beginning of it, if that was supposed to be showing us where it is, then maybe he's going to win another one. But that's what it would take. Otherwise, you're just a guy who won a gold, which you're in history, like you're there. But there's a lot of guys who won golds. And we're going to talk about the 200 in a moment. Remember, Ramil Gulyev had the 200-meter gold medal. He is the litmus test for like, it's proof that you could get one. And Ramil Gulyev does not have a skill gap at all.
No, I think Oblique has that skill gap. I think it's just the past couple years.
Compared to Kashane, he might. And compared to Kashane, remember, he's in the game with these guys. The skill gap would have to put you, for the whole thought to match, you have to be elevated above your field. So it's not it's not like if Noah got one and you got one, that cancels out. Does that make sense? Like Maurice Green had something nobody for a period of years had but him.
Yeah, I guess I think because because I guess there's multiple skill gaps where it's like, based on the thought, like Noah has, I don't know, like the skill of performing when it counts, because he's obviously not faster than Oblique or Kashane. Like it just times like all that. He's just not faster, but he has a skill of showing up when it counts the most, of performing when it counts. That is a massive skill, and it's proven throughout the years at the championships with multiple golds. I think Oblique and Kashane have the talent skill gap that can actually translate to, well, Oblique for now because he has the gold medal, that can translate into multiple gold medals. That's why I think that this gold in the 100 might have been that breakthrough for him, because he's dealt with injuries the past couple of years. He's, I know people say, and even his coach Glenn Mills said that he, it's not like a mental thing, but there may have been that aspect. Like it or not, like you don't go through whatever it is, 4 championships of not winning a medal, and you're not affected by that mentally. So I think there is some aspect there. But now I think he has the talent, and once he's healthy, we see what he's able to do. I think that can carry him through to another gold medal. So in my opinion, I feel like he has like this kind of skill gap that can bring him to another gold medal. Now, whether or not he does it, that's another question, because it's still very, very close. But I think Oblique Seville is just as talented. And I mean, you can argue more talented, obviously, on paper. Yeah, on paper and in speed and all those aspects than someone like Noah, who has a skill of showing up when it counts the most, regardless of, whatever he's done through the year.
What I would say is, I would argue that Noah's skill gap is not just clutch performing. The skill gap is he's the strongest runner in the field, which is why the 200 is not a race. It's the Noah Lyles show, because he's the strongest sprinter in the field. Like from 50 to 100, who are you trusting more than him? The problem is he butchered it in the first half, which is why he has to count on that part. But the key is, I mean, even right now, if you had a race, then your life depended on it. You had to pick a guy, and you knew that you could only. What matters was that they do from 50 to 100. Who you got?
What I think is special about this race is that it's all the history of what has occurred at the previous championships. Where coming into these championships, it was hard to say that, all right, he was going to win the gold medal, because we've seen evidence where he's been on the line and he, not forget a gold medal, he hasn't been able to win any medal. He hasn't been able to get on the podium at all. So for him to not only, he didn't just get on the podium here, he got the gold medal and he ran a personal best. He essentially ran the best race of his life, obviously, even, him saying, again, while I was there, I spoke to him. He's like, nah, I didn't even get a perfect race. Like there's still a trillion things I needed to fix up.
Yeah, but
So
I mean, but that part right there, that's just how athletes think. My point being that, like, do you see what I mean by the gap in talent between, like, I can win one and then winning another? It's the
yeah,
reason why I go in any sport, winning multiple championships, especially in a row, is super hard to do. Because no, you don't catch anybody flipping the second time. See,
hmm
people underestimated Oblique before. Nobody's underestimating again. Like that's not going to happen. He will not be
yeah,
underestimated from this point on. Every race that Oblique Seville runs from this point on, especially let's just say next season, 2027, because next year there's technically no worlds. It's a little
yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah,
It's a world ultimate, whatever that means. So
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like ultimately, no pun intended. Next time he runs for the next 2 years, it's really going to linger for 2 years. He's getting everybody's best shot.
yeah,
Before it was Obliques here, and now it's if I beat him, then I just took out the reigning champ. So I'm not saying he's not up for the challenge. What I'm saying is it's going to be different because that's where Noah was living. Every time you ran against him this year, that was how he was being treated, right? If I beat him, I take out the guy. And I think that
yeah.
also played into Shane and Oblique's races against him because they did not come with any level of underestimation. See, now that you've beaten him, here's the irony. I think Noah's going to be underestimated again in the 100. Like, that's what I think is
Mm.
going to happen. Where do you really think that 989 was the best race he can give you? It might have been the best race he can give you in the 100, given the lack of training required for him to get through the first 50 and then maintain in a 100 in a championship, maybe this year when he hasn't run hundreds hardly at all. But do you think that's the best it's ever going to get? If we can get him back healthy and running, I don't. I think this thing can improve. Like realistically, not just from what we've seen, but I'm like, I see where it went off the track this year.
Yeah, yeah.
The question
I
is
mean,
not whether he would have won gold this year, though. The question is, I think he would have been right in that 982, 981, 980, 979, 983. I think he would have been in that gap at the bare minimum. I think the 989 is literally him just running on talent, saying, I'm better than y'all. That's how I felt. It didn't feel like he executed well at all in the grander scheme. It was just every single race he ran in the 100 this year, he proved I'm better than the rest of y'all. Sorry.
yeah, better, yeah, better than that's better
But
than the
he
rest of the
wasn't
field.
better
That's true.
than them running like that.
That's
And
fair. I
like, cause no one
Yeah.
else won. No one else beat him. This whole
I
time.
I guess I look at Oblique moving forward, not in the same realm, but like I can't. Obviously, this 100-meter field is going to be competitive moving forward, no matter what. But it's a similar conversation. It's like Noah wasn't Noah until he became Noah, right? 2019, he won his first gold medal in the 200, but he didn't win anything else until 2022. He lost in the next championships at the Olympics, right? So even though he was seen as the most dominant 200-meter sprinter because, he had come out during a time coming out of high school, he didn't have a championships like 20 when he was injured in
2018, yeah.
2017, but 2018 he didn't have a championships and he was dominating through the year, but he didn't win his next gold medal after 2019.
Yeah. He
So
won the USA 100 in 2018.
he won the USA 100, yeah, in
Yeah.
2018, and he won he
As
won
a non-100 runner.
as a non-100 runner. But just thinking about the gold medals, right? Like Oblique now going into the next championships, sure, it's possible. Like I can see it both ways, where we look at Noah now as the guy who has multiple medals, but before 2022, or at least gold medals, before 2022, he didn't have that. So now we
Yeah.
can speak about him in hindsight.
Yeah, but
So yeah,
he was all the thing is like his skill gap is proven by his 200s, which is the other conversation that goes back to in 2019 you knew this man was going to win another 200 eventually.
well,
You see what I'm saying?
true,
Like there was
but
no like nobody really thought that he was done when he
of
won
course not.
that
Of
one.
course,
You see
of
what I'm saying? So
course.
that's why. But hey, it's Oblique's time now, and that's what matters most. And anytime he goes into a race, he's going to get everybody else's best shot. So
My name is Anderson from The Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from The Finish Line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.